Hey everyone, welcome back to Phoenix Awakened. I'm your host, Jayson. Welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Alison. Welcome back. We've said welcome back quite a few times now, actually.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. And if you're new here, welcome to everyone. And if you listened to us before, welcome back again. See, there's a lot of welcome backs.
Yeah, we have interesting conversations about our personal experiences, and we are recently been talking about just topics.
Just topics we have no idea sometimes until we sit in these chairs.
Yep.
And something comes up.
So welcome to all the new people who are listening and thinking, who are these two interesting looking characters? Get some popcorn, sit on a chair or couch, or go for a walk.
I think we need to start now.
Oh, okay. Antics everywhere, everyone. So today's topic is going to be about, does humanity need saving? Or can humanity save themselves? Or another word, more different words for it is, do we need saving or can we save ourselves?
Which is pretty much
similar to what I just said.
Yeah.
But I was using humanity, not because we're humanity.
Okay. And also, can we break the illusion of needing to be saved?
Yeah. Can we?
Because I feel that goes across a lot of religions, even the New Age sector.
Yeah, everywhere.
Everywhere feels like they need to be saved.
Let's go back to the very basics to when we were kids.
Okay, let's go.
So when you're born into this life, your parents are pretty much there for you, aren't they? Like, to them, they're your gods, really.
Yeah.
So you get brought up. Without them, you're pretty much done as a child, baby, child, until you can grow up to be the adult and go and do it for yourself. So we have that programming already set up within our psyche anyway, because we come in and we need to rely on parents to look after us. And then as you grow up, most people are religious on a level. And I know with my upbringing was Salvation Army. So all my family, I think on both sides, were Salvation Army, and that is a religion, by the way, if people don't understand that. It's Christianity, really. We were all taught, especially as a child, to always ask for help and for support from Jesus and from God, and you go to church every Sunday or whenever you went to church, and a lot of people are doing this. In the US, it's really big. A lot of Christians in America. And you're always being taught and told that you have to pretty much, the only way you can get help or rescued or saved on a level, and I'm just getting, this is going to be a fine line conversation for people who are Christians.
Yeah, I was just getting, we just want to put out there that we're not disagreeing with any religion. This is just our own understanding.
This is what, well, for me personally, so have a go at me here, my perception, understanding as I've grown up, I was told, Jayson, you need to go to church. You can only really rely on us, your family, and Jesus is the way. He is your saviour and God and all that sort of thing. And only way you can really, really connect closely to Jesus and God is if you go to church, that type of thing. And you need to be good and you need to do this and you need to do that, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But as I got older, then I started believing in, there's Jesus and there's God. Now there's angels. So people just love the angelic realm. So there's so many people who are worshipping angels. And I did as well. I even asked for proof of angels. So I have had a couple of experiences about that, if they were true or not, but it is what it is. And as I'm getting more and more older and stepping more into my sovereign self and my true nature of who I am and starting to reclaim back more and more my personal power, the less and less I need outside of me. And what I've experienced as a healer, having like angels coming through, and I mean, I've even done work with the Ascended Masters as well, and we're watching a video on YouTube about some of these angels and the masters and stuff. Other beings can shapeshift into them to say to you,
pretend that they are them.
Yeah. So because we've both had a lot of this play out for the last probably come to more self-realization, more self-empowerment. I'm going to say 10 years approximately, realizing that I'm more powerful than I understand and know, and I'm needing less and less of giving my power away to those particular energies. And I feel that's where the problem with humanity lies, because we're relying on too much outside of ourselves, not enough reclaiming back and knowing that we are powerful enough not to need that. So I'll start from that and see where we go from that. But what's your perspective on that?
It's a good point going back to childhood, because I also grew up in a religious family, not very religious, but enough to go, needing that I have to go to church along those lines. And I never liked going to church. I mean, as a child, you get bored. You know, it's boring sitting there having to listen to someone talk about something that you don't actually understand on any level. And I used to always fake sleep so that my mum wouldn't drag me off to church, because I just, for some reason, I just could not handle being there. And I always asked my mum, well, why do I need to come here? She goes, well, because God's here. And I'm like, but isn't God everywhere?
Yeah, and that's what I said as a kid.
And she's like, yeah, God's everywhere. I'm like, well, then I can go play outside.
Yep.
And God would be there. She goes, no, you have to be in church. And I disliked it because I just didn't feel, obviously at that level, I felt like something wasn't right for me. And it's interesting growing up now, being who I am now, understanding the different levels of what we understand as well. I was never really into angels, but my upbringing was similar to yours and similar to a lot of people's, where I had to go outside of myself to ask for help. If I needed something, I had to actually go to my parents. Because I remember a while back when we first started going out, my parents specifically told me, don't go to Jayson for anything, you must come to us.
And we were in a relationship.
I struggled with that a lot, because on a psyche level, there was a lot of things going on with me on the underlying level of a psyche level, where I felt I had no choice but to go to them. And it's taken me a good few years to understand that I don't need to go outside of myself. I have everything within me, but I also have this feeling that it is also everything that we're talking or going to be talking about is also connected to manifestation as well. So for me, do we need saving? No, I don't think we do. Can we save ourselves? I'd like to think we can.
And I feel what I've been watching and listening to lately, humanity on a whole needs to save themselves, because if we don't, we're going to keep doing the bullshit cycle. And there's a lot of beings out there who are relying on us for us to give our power away continuously forever.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to evolve, everybody wants to ascend, everybody wants to be awake. And how can that possibly happen? Yeah, if we don't reclaim back our power and start stepping into our true authentic selves. And I keep on getting a flashback of when I was a kid, my father sent us, my brother and I, onto a Christian horse riding camping week. It was a really awesome time, and we had a group leader for each group. And there was not a lot of Christian stuff in it really, just a little, but we did a lot of horse riding and learned about horses and that sort of jazz. But when we went to bed one night, there was probably 10 of us boys in this little hut thing on bunk beds. The group leader comes in and he goes, okay, if you're not being saved by Jesus, you need to be saved by Jesus, or you need to ask Jesus to come into your heart. And if you don't, you're going to go to hell.
That's scary.
I think I was 12. My brother would have been 9 or something. And I said, well, I'm a Christian because that's what my family is. I don't know if I did this ritual with Jesus, but I started second guessing because I was freaking out.
Yeah, as a child you would.
And look at my brother. He's in the next bunk and he's like, geez, what's going on here? I think we all felt forced to do it. because we didn't want to. We're just children, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
We had to accept Jesus in our hearts and pretty much say, he is our Lord Saviour. He's the only one that can save us, and so he wouldn't go to hell. So this is going back a long time ago, and it's come up. So that's I'm thinking a bit of a trauma memory there. And I'm feeling that there's a lot of people that have experienced that, and they still say that today. You need to ask Jesus into your heart and ask him to, you need the saviour thing going on, because if you don't, you're going to hell. Which is a big fear. It's fear porn, really. So if you've got that thing going on continuously, how can people globally, how can humanity on a mass scale ever step into a personal power when there's a religion down the road telling you if you don't do this and don't do that, you're going to go to hell?
And even if you don't believe in religion, as we get older, I feel like there's a lot of adults out there that whether you believe in religion or not, sometimes we feel lost. And so therefore we want someone to tell us what to do, because a lot of the time we might not know what we need to do next.
We all need support and help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or a different perspective. That's okay, because that's what we're meant to be helping, and sharing with each other that support and that help, because we all have different tools, different perceptions, stuff like that. But when it comes to this particular thing, we're still giving our power away.
Yeah, absolutely. And we don't need to give our power away, because exactly like you said, how can humanity grow when you've been trained from childhood that in order to achieve anything in life, you have to go outside of yourself to do it? Yeah.
And then we get into the New Age community. Now it's about our guides, angels, masters. What else is there? There's a lot that you give your power away to.
I think guides and angels.
Yeah, in the New Age community. Christians also.
Yeah, it's a big one in the New Age community. I don't know about the Ascended Masters. And when we were in the New Age community, I didn't really hear much about galactics.
That's been around for not a long time, it's been around for many years, is the next level of saviour is the galactic beings. The aliens are going to come down to Earth and save us. And the GF, do I dare mention their
I think GF is pretty good.
Galactic Federation. The saviours of the planet, and they're going to come and rescue everyone and do all that. So it's interesting how through the different time frames, it's gone from Jesus to God to all that sort of base Christian saviour. Now going up through where we are now in 2023, people are now wanting to be saved by the angels and by guides as well on many, many levels. And now the galactic arena is now being asked to come through to save humanity. And it's this continuous cycle. Yeah,
and humanity is wanting that to happen, because I feel like as humanity, we're not entirely too sure how to go about saving ourselves, because no one's really shown us how to do that.
No.
Because everything is about going outside of yourself. How can we actually save ourselves if we haven't been shown how to do that?
Because we've been conditioned to go outside of ourselves, not conditioned
to go within.
Or given the right tools to go within. Maybe condition is the wrong word, but having the right information to allow us to learn to go within and get the answers from within per se, where we're trained as soon as you are born, you got to rely on your parents.
There is nothing wrong with relying on your parents as a child, because you have to rely on your parents as a child. Looking back at my childhood, I think it depends. I feel it depends on how the parents raise their children.
Yeah.
Is how they will turn out to be as adults. For me, even as an adult, you can only come to us. Yeah. You can't go to anyone else.
But that's the energy behind what I can see.
Exactly. That was the energy that I got.
You can't even rely on yourself. You can only rely on us.
Exactly.
Giving power away.
Exactly. As compared to parents that will show their children, not necessarily cooking, but this is what you need to do. But do it in a way that's fun. for children, because as a child you're like, I don't want to do that, that's pretty boring, but you're doing it in a way that's fun for children. And the reason why I say that is because from my childhood, it was done in a way that didn't seem like fun.
Yeah.
It was done in a way that seemed like a chore, that was just boring. And what child wants, or teenager wants to learn these things when they perceive it to be boring and like a chore and like they're forced to do it?
Yeah.
So it really comes down to how the parents raise their children as well, from my perspective.
Yeah.
And then as adults, and then when you go into religion and even the New Age sector, again...
And this is why humanity's still children.
Exactly.
Because we still haven't really moved forward with that, have we really? We've we have substituted the parents to these other figures.
For religion.
Yeah. And all that other than what we perceive to be higher than us.
And it's lately I have been getting I really have been understanding the perception that these other beings, energies, entities are no different from us. The only difference is that we are living in this reality. We can only perceive what is happening in this reality unless we have, unless our consciousness or abilities or psychic abilities are able to perceive, other dimensions and other realms. And the only reason there are beings that have a greater perception is because they are at a different frequency. If it's almost like saying, I said to you, the ant on the ground can only perceive what it sees from the ground. So in that regard, we are a higher perceptional being from the ant because we can see from a different perspective. Does that make us the god of the ant?
No.
Exactly. In reality, that ant probably has a higher concept of perception than what we do, a higher consciousness level.
Because they work together in harmony.
Exactly. They work as a team.
And we're still killing each other. I don't know if ants do that, but within their own ant tribe, they're
more team workers than...
Yeah. But even us as a humanity family unit, we're still wiping each other out.
Yeah. So for me, I have had an understanding of, we do get shown this in the New Age sector I was getting shown this on the New Age sector years ago, that we are all the same. And a lot of beings have said, we are all the same. We're not actually any different from you. But it's taken me quite a while to have a deeper understanding and not run outside of myself anymore, to go, okay, well, I have this perception. I can only go with what I understand in my immediate reality, and then work from what I know deep within myself, instead of trying to understand what is a perception of someone else outside of myself, because then a lot of us don't know who we're talking to. So for me, yeah, that's what I got. Yeah. I don't know if it made sense, but that's what I got. And I think I was on my high horse for a moment.
Yeah, that's okay. Sometimes we need to be on a high horse, because we went through a level with guides where we're both like understanding working with guides and everything like that for a long time. I know myself being in the New Age community for a very long time and teaching and stuff like that. We all relied on our guides and stuff like that. And I've had Native American guides and had different galactic guides and Senate masters and stuff like that.
And it all sounds so cool and amazing at the time.
Yeah, and then finding out that some of them had agendas, their own agendas play out, and then us learning about that, and we're like, oh, we thought that there was no hidden agenda with that, but finding out that there's agendas playing out. The agendas from our guides, say, could be them getting something for helping us, where we thought from our naive level that they were just here for us, not for themselves.
Yeah.
And we thought, well, okay, so we stopped sort of linking up with guides per se. I still feel that we still have a support around us, a beneficial support, and we are very mindful of who we connect with. In the last couple of podcasts, I've done a little bit of channeling and putting out there when I'm doing it for the wisdom within self, but I am having that a soul group member coming through, or someone coming through from a beneficial space of not agenda, that's the intention, not to save, but to give a different opinion or a different perception from the level they're coming from.
Yeah.
And that is okay because you're getting a different level and experience that you might have thought of supporting and sharing with you. And that's I find, for me personally, that's cool. But when you actually like, oh, Jesus, please save me.
You might want to revoke that.
Yeah, I'll revoke that. But that's what I'm trying to say, like not giving
those words.
Not trying to give everything to one being to make everything better, where we need to do that for ourselves.
And sometimes it can be really hard because I feel like it really depends on the situation of a human to feel like they have that courage and wisdom to be able to do that. But this is something that all humans need to do. We all need to be able to go deep within ourselves and understand what is going on in our life, and is there something that we can do, whether it's actually going to be something that we feel is a detriment is not a word, but something that we feel that might be challenging or not, because a lot of the time what we do as humans, that we only aim to go for the path that of least resistance.
Yes, that's true.
Sometimes the path that seems more challenging is the path that is going to be more beneficial for you. And I feel that we as humanity need to be able to look at that within ourselves and choose the path that may seem like the most challenging one, but it might actually be the most beneficial one. For example, when we here in Melbourne, Victoria, and there was a medical event going on around the world, there was a choice that needed to be made out of all Melburnians, and that was whether or not that you were willing to do something to be able to support yourself.
Yeah.
And at that present moment, I was the only one that was working. Jayson wasn't working at the time, and I had to make that decision deep within myself to know if that was the right choice or not. And it was, for me, having to go through it, to be honest, we've spoken about this heaps of times before amongst ourselves. I had this feeling, I just knew that everything was going to be okay, but it was a decision that would scare anyone. I chose not to do a certain thing, therefore I couldn't actually work anymore. And therefore we didn't know how we were going to earn money. But it was a choice that I made within myself, because I stood up for my beliefs, because I actually felt that was the best thing for me to do, instead of going outside of myself to find the answer. And sometimes that's what I'm trying to say, that we all need to be able to understand the best decision for us is to go within. We can't go outside of ourselves. Am I going off topic again?
No, I know what you're saying, because you were sort of going in the right direction I was wanting to go in, because I know where you're coming from, and people who are in the same circumstances will understand as well.
Yeah.
But where I want to go is that the last 2-3 years, with the politicians connected to what you just talked about, everybody believed in the Prime Minister, believed in the politicians, or they're going to help everybody, and this is global. Everybody thought, yep, the politicians, they've got our backs, and they're doing everything they can to help us out. And we all start to find out now, 3 years later, that was a complete effing illusion scam, where a lot of them are backpedaling. So because that was another parent thing. And I said to you, there's Daddy Dan, being dad, saying, this is what you'll do, little children. You'll do this because it's for your safety and this is for your families.
And that's connected to what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The politicians were the parents.
Yes.
Saying, like you said, you will do this because this is the best option for you, and I'm telling you to do it this way. And some of us adults decided, no, we're going to make our own choice.
Yeah, red flag.
Yeah. We're not going to trust you anymore because we feel like you're not actually very beneficial and leading us down the
garden path.
The garden path.
Yeah. And that's our perception, because I'm getting in my head people that are listening to this going, you guys are just bloody ridiculous. You should have done as you're told and taken what you were told to take. And we're like,
but we had that. I had that. You had that. We had that from countless people that we should have done what we were told. But this is what we're talking about. We went within.
Yeah, we felt it was not beneficial at that time. It was a trial medicine. And if a new drug came out, didn't matter what it was a trial. Most people be like, oh, it's a trial. You know, I might just wait a little bit and see what's going on. But everybody was turned into children. And I'm going to just call that judgment or not. And this is a really interesting topic for everybody who does listen to this. But because through fear, we all went back to the child again.
Yeah.
And started needing to give our power away again. And in order for that sacrifice, there was countless of jobs and businesses all lost across the planet. And everybody stood up and said, stayed in their in their self-empowerment, their authoritative selves. They would have went, no, hang on a minute. There must be another way of doing this.
Yeah.
Let's regroup and relook at this, and not just do as what we're told from our parents, the government.
Yeah. Those are the words, doing what you're told.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the topic that we're discussing is, do we need to be saved from others outside of us, or can we do that ourselves? And it pretty much comes down to humanity does what they're told.
Yeah, because that's been the programming for thousands upon thousands of years, and it's all led back down to really religion. Religion was the first teaching ground to say, hey, if you don't, do this and do that, you're going to be done.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're going to hell.
Yeah. I would like for everyone to break that illusion.
It's an individual process.
It is.
Individual learning.
It is. But I would love for everyone to break the illusion that they don't need to go outside themselves.
Yeah. No, look, you and I understand this, but there's a lot of people that don't know that. And we're just not even reminding, but just sharing our understandings of, for us to evolve as a species, we may need to grow up a little bit more and take another look at things. And
I know that we haven't, this is one of the topics that I wanted to discuss, but I feel like I can relate this back into, it kind of goes into shadow work as well, and it kind of goes into really seeing, pretty much I'm getting that in order for humanity to be able to help themselves, they might need to start looking at things about themselves that they don't want to see.
That's a big ask.
It is a big ask. It is, yeah, it's a huge ask of asking humanity in order to grow and be your true self and make your own decisions and not going outside of yourself. There are maybe some things that you have to face about yourself. And when it comes to religion, maybe the things that people need to face about themselves is the fact that they can actually make that choice and they need to grow up. And that may sound a little harsh, but I don't mean for it to sound harsh, because I'm getting the ones that go outside of themselves kind of...
Well, it's a lot easier, isn't it?
That's what I mean. It's like the cop-out. You go outside of yourself to ask for help, to ask for permission, to ask if you can do something, instead of taking the responsibility of doing it of making that choice yourself. Because then it's kind of like a cop-out. Well, I've asked this person and they told me yay or nay. It's good or not. Yeah. I'm
getting a flashback where I've said to some clients, if I had a magic pill, I'd give it to you. Isn't it what we all want? And a magic pill could be, Jesus saving and helping your life and this and that.
Okay.
A galactic being coming down and,
Can we go back to something? What does it actually mean? Someone coming to save yourself, or not save yourself, someone coming to save you. What, if we can break it down, what does it actually look like?
Oh, you're asking me that?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's start with what we just talked about, the politicians, with what played out the last 3 years. We wanted them, and they were quite happy to step up to take over and say, this is what you're going to do. Because they were playing the saviours. We've got it all planned out. We've got these special medicines for everyone. We're going to, stay in your houses and do this and do that. Because everything's going to be fine after a certain period. But you just need to do what we tell you to do. And everything will be fine. Isn't that a type of a saviour?
It is. What I was getting from that question is that people don't want to take responsibility for their own decisions.
No, because if they make the mistake, then they have to blame themselves.
Yeah.
And that's what you were talking about, what we had to experience.
Yeah.
We made certain decisions and it was only us to blame.
Yeah,
Because we were told, like, if you don't do this, you're pretty much dead.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, okay, we'll die then.
Yeah. That was the question or the answer that I was trying to get at, as trying to break it down. What does it mean for going outside of yourself? People don't want to take responsibility for their decisions and
everybody
their
wants the easy road.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, everyone. We don't always want to travel down the hard road.
No, we don't. No.
So we're all in the same boat, really.
Oh, absolutely. Like, there are times when it's like,
Really? Does it need to be this hard all the time?
Yeah. How many times have I said to you, there's got to be an easier way?
Yeah, and there is, but it's a different level of consciousness and perception and then, all that sort of thing. But sometimes it's not. We do want it all easy, get that? But sometimes you're going to have to ride out the storm, and sometimes we have to take responsibility for the choices we make, and you're better off choosing for yourself than somebody else choosing for you.
I think that's the best decision.
Yeah.
Because,
if you do that, then you're more of a bigger blame than the other person, because you're the person that gave your power away.
Yeah, humanity, I feel, has been played on many levels so that we are kept in the dark, so that we don't grow and become our own personal beings.
Yeah. Well, for you, for example, you've done a lot of inner work because you've chosen to do the inner work. Maybe you've also come into this incarnation, if you do believe anybody believes in incarnations, because there's a lot of stuff of that going around, to get to this point where you've had to do the hard yards through previous incarnations to evolve and to learn so many times. So when you do come through this time round, you already have a level of higher consciousness. So,
understanding.
Yeah. So maybe not everybody's had the opportunity to do that.
No, that's true.
You look at our parents, right?
Yeah.
The baby boomers. There's a majority of baby boomers are still living the same vibrational frequency to what they were when they're young, even though life has changed a lot, but they still want the same. And if you try to convince them what we're talking about is true, they're going to say, you guys smoking crack. You need to get off the drugs and start pulling yourselves back into alignment and do what you're told. And this is how it's meant to be.
Do you know what? I was actually just getting a whole visual of how much older we are than possibly our parents on an energetic level because of our understanding and where we want to be and our growth and everything.
Yeah.
So I just got that. Like, even though they're our parents and technically they are supposed to know more. Technically, they're supposed to know more. But realistically, we are probably older than them.
I know what you're saying.
I just got that. Yeah.
So everybody's on a different level of consciousness and different level of being who they are.
And it may sound like we're judging, but we're really not judging at all. We're actually just expressing our own opinion. And it really comes back down to everyone's own individual journey.
What it comes down to in this conversation is because really we care.
Yeah, we do.
If we didn't care, we'd be like, you could all go and get stuffed and go to hell.
No, it may sound like Jayson doesn't care right now.
No, I'm being facetious.
But we actually do care, because if we didn't care, we wouldn't be so passionate in trying to have this kind of conversation.
Yeah, it's a bit bigger one than I was thinking. Because, again, this is another week gone by and we're just sitting in the chair going, okay, what are we going to talk about today? We're just going to have faith. Because everybody at work's going, what? Don't you have topics and stuff ready? I'm like, no, we're just, in the moment and just be open to what might pop up. And Alison picked this hard one.
Because I really want And I know this comes from my own upbringing and my own lessons. I just really want everyone to wake up and be their most awesome source self.
Yep, I hear.
That's what I really want for everyone. And yet I have to accept and understand that everyone has their own journey.
Yep.
So even though I want that for everyone, I have to allow everyone to be who they are.
Okay, I'm going to work on going within and see if I get a message. See, what I'm getting with all that is that when I connect with, say, one of my soul family, it is me.
Yeah, well, that's actually a good point because technically it is you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I have been getting a nudge. Like there's a few things that we can express.
Okay.
I'm getting the same female being again.
Oh.
Thank you again for having me. I really do appreciate it. Well done for this conversation. You were, we would say, a little bit nudged in this direction because you both have been talking about this for quite a while on one level or another. It is time now for the collective, humanity, yourselves, to step into a higher level of awareness and consciousness. It is time for humanity to step out of the child into the adult more and more, for you all to move forward into the vibrational frequency that you desire to be in and to create a better reality for yourselves. You need to stop being the child and step into the adult. And for many of you, you will resist and refuse and kick and scream like children not to do so. But if you want, or to create a better reality and be out of this so-called low-density, painful state of being, then you all need to stop giving your power away to those who quite happily would like to continue to take all the power that you give to them indefinitely. So it is up to you individually and collectively to stop giving your power away to those in charge and take it back for yourselves. There is nobody out there that can save you or ever can save you. You as a collective, as an individual, can only save yourselves. As it has been discussed here, it is time to do this. Otherwise, things will continue to get worse, and maybe you need to think about why they are getting worse, because that is bringing up many, many traumas within you all, and you are needing to look at it, not being an ostrich with your heads in the sand, hiding away, thinking and feeling that it's going to blow away like a leaf in the breeze. No, it's going to keep on compounding until you all start looking at yourselves and really, as Alison said, doing the shadow work, the parts of yourself that you do not like, look at and give love to and start to heal that within yourselves. And perhaps then humanity might start looking and stepping forward into a better future. Remember this, there are many beings, entities across your realm, galactic and otherwise, that are very happy to be in charge of you, and many perceive they should be in charge of you because you simply have given your power away. If you desire to keep going this way, it is your choice. But if you do not, perhaps you may need to relook at yourselves and choose differently, and then start to reclaim back your power, stop giving it away so much, stop being so fearful, and things will start to change bit by bit. And there's no judgment here on what's being said today. It's just a little reminder of what may need to be done if you all would like a better reality for yourselves. Any questions, Alison?
Yes. Basic understanding of how people can stop going outside of themselves.
So when something goes wrong, or drastically goes wrong, most people will run to somebody else for help instead of sitting down with a notepad and pen and writing down what they can start to do for themselves. Little steps here and there. Most people, should not say most, but many will start to pray instantly for help. What about, as you would say, Alison, starting to go within and trying to get some answers from within, start being a little bit more practical about solutions that you can do to move yourself out of a particular situation. Does that help?
Yes, thank you very much. That helps a lot.
Anything else?
No, actually. What I do get, I had something and now I've lost it.
It'll come back. The time is coming where you all will need to stop searching from outside of yourselves to start to work out how magnificent you all are, how powerful you all are, how courageous you are, how magnificent you are. You are right. You've had much training over thousands of lifetimes, thousands of years as a collective. You've been enslaved, manipulated, betrayed, and that's all on many levels for you to let go of and step and remember into who you really are. A reminder that you are powerful. The power has not been stripped away from you. The power has never left you. Your power is always within you. It's just, you've just chosen to give it away. And it's been manipulated so for you to think to give it away because you will be saved. You talk about the Jesus energy, the Master Jesus. Master Jesus came in talking about the teachings of love and unity. He did not come here to save or rescue. That was done by the religions at the time. Very much a large amount of manipulation there for all the people. That his role was never to save. He was here, he came in to share the evolution of the male and female energies, the heart and mind, coming together in unity consciousness. Many other master teachers came in not to rescue or save, but to share their wisdom and their knowledge and their perception from a higher level of consciousness. It is man, some galactic arenas and forces that have used the teachings, used the knowledge, reversed it, inverted it, to manipulate man to think in a different way, and that was to give your power away. Much illusion has been spread across humanity for thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years. Now the time is for all of you to see through that illusion, those illusions, start to wake up and reclaim back your power, your courage, your strength as an individual and as a collective. And then humanity will rise. Any more questions?
No, that was pretty good. I do like the practicality of it.
Yes, we are not here for the fluff.
Yeah, don't do fluff.
You are living in a practical reality. So become more practical, more balanced, more centered within. Make better choices. And when you are stepping into, or there's fear, a lot of fear playing out, regardless of what it is, see if you can step back and do some practical actions, even down to meditation or breathing, or even down to writing your fears and your concerns. This is all very practical, helpful solutions.
I think what it is people are scared to actually, if something goes wrong, they're scared to actually take the time to look at themselves to try and figure it out. Because the easiest way is to go ask someone else for their opinion.
We're not saying that you cannot ask a friend or loved one for support or an open ear or even their perception, but you cannot ask them to rescue you. And that's what we are talking about today.
So the difference is having someone else's opinion can give you a broader idea of what to do next, but asking them to come in and sweep them off their feet is a different story.
Exactly right. Because that takes away the learning.
It takes away the self-empowerment of the person who needs to have that understanding.
Yes, it's exactly right, Alison. And this is what we are discussing today on many, many levels. And those who are ready to hear and understand this information will agree. And those who are still needing to go within or still learning or have different learnings on this subject matter will continue to do what they need to do for themselves. It is an individual journey, as we say many, many times before.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for having us again. And until next time, blessings to you all and stay self-empowered.
Thank you.
Oh, that was even deeper.
That was cool. That was a very cool because I could feel the difference in energy with this one. This version of you is very more outspoken. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's a bit more of a punch.
Yeah. As soon as this version of you just came through, it was like, thank you for having me back. It was more outspoken.
Okay.
Yeah. And very practical as well, because the understanding of what this person or this version of you said is a very practical approach on trying to clear a situation or something that's come up that's been challenging for people. To take a seat, write it down, and have the courage to see if you can take practical steps to overcome what needs to be overcome.
It's good because I'm getting a heart space. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. So it was very good. It was very practical, very grounded.
I believe that's what everybody needs. Yeah. None of this fluff stuff.
Yeah. None of the fluff stuff.
Bit of realism.
Bit of like honesty, like real honesty of this is our perception. If you want honest, you may not like honest, but this is honest. Yeah, that is the kind of, I think, the information that we need to, it's just honest.
Yeah.
Whether people like it or not.
Yeah. Wow. I'm a bit blown away about this topic. So well done, Alison.
That's an interesting topic. Because I feel very strongly about people being their authority selves.
Yeah.
I'm very strong, opinionated about that.
I'm just getting it's a work in progress too.
It is a work in progress. Yeah. And I was guessing, because we watched, if you all don't know who Tabitha Coffey is, she's a hairdresser. We watched her on YouTube last night or something like that. And she was addressing the graduates of a beauty school, I think.
Something like that.
Something along those lines, cosmetology. And I just absolutely loved what she said about her and her trade and the fact that she's a rock star. And I was like, you know what? Yeah.
We are all rock stars.
We are all rock stars, and we all need to be rock stars of our own life.
And we need to claim that.
Yeah. There's a fine line between like ego rock star and heart space rock star, but we are all rock stars in our own right.
And it's time to start stepping in and awakening that. Well, anything else before we go?
No, I think that's pretty much it. Just be your authority self. We've already done a video on that.
Yeah.
It's what I believe, and it's what I feel we all need to step into.
And if something doesn't feel right, doesn't smell right, it's like if it quacks like a, what is the saying? If it quacks
like a duck or walks like a duck or moves like a duck, then it's a duck
or something. But so if something doesn't smell right and seem right, then it's probably not right.
Then it's vomit.
Yeah. So if there's,
and you would be surprised, for those that are tuning in, the amount of times that we have something come through, and Jayson calls me the watchdog of the household. You'd be surprised the amount of times my back gets up and I can feel what's around, and it just does not feel right. And I'm like, you know what? You might need to leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have no qualms saying that.
Yep. So with the channeling aspect of it all, we're a little bit more mindful, but I've just stepped into a level of trust, and if it goes out and I don't edit it out, then I know it's being a beneficial energy that's come through that has something important and beneficial to say. If it's shit, then delete. Yeah,
that's actually a really good topic to quickly touch on. That because even though we talk about discernment and we've just spoken about not going outside of ourselves, even though Jayson has done a channeling now and he has been channeling some information in previous podcasts, I still am very mindful. I look for different frequency shifts, and Jayson also looks for frequency shifts when he's doing the channeling as well. And like you said, when you're editing, if it doesn't feel right, because you sometimes don't remember what you're actually saying, when you listen to it, if it doesn't seem or feel right, then you edit that part.
Yeah, so you won't even hear it.
Yeah, so we just want everyone to understand that even though we touch on these subjects of not going outside yourself and discernment, and Jayson does channeling, we are still very mindful of the information, because we understand what we want to share with everyone.
Yeah, and that's another quick one is people are going to say, well, you said not to go outside yourself, and here you are channeling. They contradicted what you just said.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yes, we said don't go outside of yourself, but again, it's what Jayson does is really, it's more along the lines of actually going within, really.
Yeah, aspects of self which are there.
Yeah, it's just aspects of you. It's not, and you didn't go outside of you to say, hey, let's save people.
No.
It was...
And I asked for a perception, a different level of conscious perception to give a different level or colour.
Yeah.
Through this topic.
Exactly. And that's also another thing. There's a difference between going outside to be saved and going outside to just get a different perception. Because a different perception, you can actually take a gold nugget from that perception, because that might actually help you to be able to work your way out of whatever situation is yourself.
But you just take it how you want to take it. We are doing the best we can with our integrity and what we understand, and we're still growing, still learning as well. We're not perfect. And yeah. Just
wanted to clarify that with people, because it can seem like a contradictory. We just said don't go outside, and you are doing a bit of channeling.
Yeah. On that note, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you very much.
We're sending everybody lots of love and blessings and power. Self-empowerment.
You are the authority of your own life.
Remember, we are a family, all of us. We are all connected in more ways than what you think. Until next time, ciao.
Bye.